Hi, everyone, and welcome to the latest edition of the Tiny Brains podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Joyce, CEO at Tiny Brains, and with me I have Peter Graham, the Brigadier of Brains at Tiny Brains. Say hello, Peter.
Hello, Peter.
So, as ever, we'll be going through the big stories from the previous week in XR, and there's a lot of meta news this week. So, we're going to dive straight in with the Oculus Quest lying down mode. Now, this is essentially using the Oculus Quest while lying down.
Who doesn't want to be able to use their Quest lying down? So yes, it's the end of February, no, or the newest update, which is version 63, and it's got a couple of features. There's Oculus Cache in there, but the main one is lying down, where you get to reorientate your view, so 90 degrees, and bring it upwards so you can look up and lay down and play some games.
Now, there was a game released a while ago by a developer who is well known for his eccentric AR and VR experiences. Was it called Pillow
It
something?
was, yes.
It was just Pillow, wasn't
It
it?
was just called Pillow. Yeah.
Yeah, which was designed to use your Quest free lying down and having things appear on your ceiling. And it was an interesting concept. And yeah, seems like more developers are going to be able to do things like that now without necessarily having to reconfigure anything about the Quest, which is nice. Um, Also, with this being update 63, I'm wondering what they're doing for update 69.
Oh, have to wait further to the end of the year for that one. But yes, I'm not sure how many games will be able to fully support lying down mode because I'm sure a lot of people aren't going to be playing Beat Saber whilst lying down in bed. Maybe a bit of cubism, a bit of puzzling places, maybe something like that.
Honestly, I've now got a vision of me playing Beat Saber lying on my bed and just waggling my arms in the air, and I think that would actually be quite cool. As long as you don't have to dodge, I can't imagine rolling around on the bed. But there you
Well, depends on what you want to do in bed.
go. Anyway, moving on. Now we have a couple of bad bits of news. Firstly, goodbye, Oculus.
Yeah, Oculus accounts are being killed off on the 29th of March. But no, this isn't anything particularly new. We've known for years, and Meta has said for years that you need to migrate your Oculus accounts. If you opened up one originally back in the Rift days, you need to migrate it to a Meta account. So we've known about it, but there's never been a date. There's never been a hard stop, which we now have at the end of this month.
So I have God knows how many Oculus and Meta accounts for the various headsets and different activities I do on them. Um, and I have no idea which are which. So this is going to be an arduous process for me to get through. Um, yeah, not looking forward to that one. It's something on my schedule for post GDC, and if you're at GDC, be sure to drop me a line. But yeah, I can imagine an entire day spent going through logging in all of my accounts and going, is this one connected to Meta? Is this one connected to Meta?
Well, hopefully not too many people have a dozen different emails and Oculus accounts, Kev. So
Well, yeah. For the average consumer, I can imagine it's just a singular one. But even so, goodbye, Oculus.
yeah, yeah, another death knell in the Oculus brand.
And on more, well, even more bad news for the Meta chip, they don't work. Or at least they didn't for a little while.
Yes, everyone must know about this because I think it was last Tuesday, across all of Meta's services, from Facebook, Instagram, and Threads as well. Suddenly, everyone was signed out. You couldn't get in for love nor money. And the worst bit for VR users was the fact that you couldn't use your Quest headsets. Everyone was signed out. You couldn't get in. You couldn't access. It was essentially a dead weight for about a good hour, couple of hours maybe. And yeah,
So, so when you're gaming on a Switch or a PlayStation or an Xbox and the network goes down, which does happen occasionally, it just means you can't play online, right? You can still play your games. But that doesn't seem to be the case with a Quest headset.
now Meta have come out and said that well, normally you can use the Quest offline.
Yes, indeed.
We've both used the Quest offline. You don't necessarily need to be online for that. But it was a very specific bug that happened server side where it kind of logged everyone out and then just said no, you can't log back in again. And because it literally logged you out of your Quest headset, there was no way to re-log back in again, and it was a very weird, very specific glitch that affected everyone around the world.
So my take on this, of course, being the contrarian to well, the narrative that goes around the internet is at this point, Meta are saying, get rid of your Oculus account and sign up to Meta so you can't play your games anymore. Which is, it's not great. I think the timing could have been better on this one. But basically, if you want to have a Quest headset, you're beholden to the decisions that Meta makes. And if that means that you have to have a Meta account, which you can't sign into, that's the only option you've got for a Quest headset.
Fun times.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, on more positive Meta news, swinging it back around again, we have the Meta Orion AR.
Yes, there's been a rumor swirling around this past week about the long-awaited Orion AR glasses, and they're coming. Well, the prototype will supposedly be shown at Connect, and Connect is usually September, October time at the end of the year. So we may be seeing a new pair of AR glasses, which are going to be proper AR glasses from what we can tell, because Project Aria, a few years ago, and now this one, they're looking like they're sounding like they're supposed to be true AR glasses, unlike Ray-Ban, the Ray-Ban Meta glasses, which are just do video and a few chat features, don't they?
Now, of course, expectations in check here. Not expecting something, not expecting some space age AR. I'm expecting something very, very simple, but a heads-up display nonetheless. That's my expectation. An adaptation of, say, an iWatch or a smartwatch of some kind in your field of vision on glasses. That's my expectation. Things that providing directions and so on. I am not expecting a fully immersive Pokemon Go as much as I would love that. But I don't know, Pete. What are you thinking?
Well, I think it's going to be using some devices that are on the market at the moment. I think it's going to be more advanced than the X-Real Air 2 smart glasses, but I don't think it's going to be as advanced as, say, like the Microsoft HoloLens 2 or the Magic Leap glasses. I think it's going to be somewhere in between, where Meta are looking to, they're still wanting it to be a consumer device. They're still wanting for it to be, sub $1,000, rather than pushing it towards, AVP sort of level prices.
Yeah, so I was expecting another $500 price tag for these personally. Something that comes in, as you say, I would imagine similar to the X-Real 2 personally, but obviously with Meta's fancy bells and whistles attached to it. So yeah, that's an interesting opportunity there. We've had a few years, which people have said is the year of AR rather than VR. Maybe next year will be too.
Well, yes, because Orion has been in development for 9 years, so I think they're now really keen to get this out and get this baby to market.
Which would be lovely for everybody. So wrapping up this week, as we always do, we have a piece of gaming news, new gaming news. What's going on, Pete?
Cloudhead Games. Now, these guys are most famous for Pistol Whip, the awesome gun-toting rhythm action game. And this week, they confirmed that they're working on 2 new games, which is great to hear. We don't know what they are. They've definitely confirmed that it's not going to be a fitness game, and it's being developed by 2 separate teams internally within the studio. But we don't know what they're going to be. Whether it's going to be, could it be a sequel to Call of the Starseed, maybe, Kev? We don't know.
Let's see if that trilogy ever gets finished. But on that note, so Cloudhead is a studio that has existed in VR for a long time. I remember meeting Denny back in my first year of VR over 10 years ago. So while they may be most famous for Pistol Whip amongst the majority of people, they have had several games over the years that have performed admirably, including a launch title for the original Oculus Rift. So yeah, it's nice to see that studio, a truly independent studio built from nothing, growing and growing and growing, and great. Well done to them.
Yeah, it is good. It's good news, especially since Pistol Whip was their last game that they released, and that was in 2019, which seems like an age away.
They have continuously supported it, which is also
Of
lovely
course,
to see.
yeah.
But yeah, surely over the last 5 years, they must have been working on something interesting. And now it seems that two things interesting, in fact, and will be coming to fruition soon. Now I can only assume, as they've actually revealed these things are happening, they are going to be sooner rather than later. At least being revealed sooner rather than later. So yeah, keen to see what they come up with. Even if it is Pistol Whip 2, which I don't think it will be.
I wouldn't have thought so. They're quite an innovative studio, aren't they? Really. So I think they'll want to be pushing the boundaries and doing something different and new.
So yeah, that wraps up this week's Tiny Brains podcast. I will be at GDC next week. If you're attending and you're watching this, which is pretty small on the Venn diagram, I imagine, people who watch this and attend GDC. But if you are one of those, then please reach out, drop me a line on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, email, wherever, whatever Pete decides to put in the description below, all the links. And yeah, we'll see you next week. Thank you very much for watching.
Thanks again.